Back in the days, the Teutonic Knights, members of the Catholic military order known as the Deutsche Orden or Teutonic Order, officially came into existence in March 1198 CE. Their initial mission was to reclaim Jerusalem from the Arabs during the Third Crusade. Despite failing to achieve this goal, they established a hospital outside Acre during the city siege. The Pope recognized this hospital as an independent military order, and from that point on, the Knights embarked on a new path. Shifting their focus from the Middle East, which proved too challenging to control, the Teutonic Knights aimed to convert Christians and seize land in Central and Eastern Europe. Distinguished by their black cross on a white tunic, these knights became adept traders and diplomats. They expanded their territory significantly from their base in Prussia and built castles across Europe, stretching from Sicily to Lithuania. And the Third Crusade was initiated by Pope Gregory VIII after Saladin, the Sultan of Egypt and Syria, captured Jerusalem in 1187 CE. Despite being led by Europe's nobility, the crusade faced numerous obstacles, the most significant being the accidental death of Frederick Barbarossa, the King of Germany and Holy Roman Emperor. His drowning led many of his troops to abandon the mission, but some German knights continued and participated in the siege of Acre, which concluded in July 1191 CE. Although the Crusaders saw some success, they never managed to capture Jerusalem, instead securing a small strip of land around Acre and ensuring safe passage for Christian pilgrims. Around 1190 CE, a group of German knights founded a field hospital near Acre, dedicated to Saint Mary, similar to one established in Jerusalem in the 12th century. In March 1198 CE, Pope Innocent III elevated this group to an independent military order, named the Brethren of the German Hospital of Saint Mary. This organization would later be known as the Teutonic Order, with its members referred to as Teutonic Knights. Combining the roles of knights and monks, the Teutonic Order acquired lands in the Crusader-controlled Middle East and built several castles, particularly around Acre. Their mission was to defend these Crusader territories. Additionally, they held land in Cilicia, supported by the Armenians who saw them as a counterbalance to the Templar Knights. The Order's headquarters was established at the Montfort Fortress in the hills of Galilee, northeast of Acre, which they renamed Starkenburg. Over time, they gained more territories in eastern Cilicia, Greece, Italy, and Central Europe. And the Teutonic Order was governed by a Grand Master, Hochmeister, elected by an electoral college and expected to consult with senior officers and commanders. In the 15th century, a second master in Livonia gained increasing independence from the headquarters in Prussia. Occasionally, a master could be ousted by his officers, and there was even an instance of a particularly disliked master being murdered. The order controlled extensive lands across Europe and the Middle East, divided into administrative provinces called Balain, each managed by a landmaster. Most recruits to the order's numerous castle convents were of Germanic origin, hailing from regions like Franconia, Thuringia, and the Rhine. The knights, Ritter, or brothers were usually aristocrats, though often from the lower echelons of nobility, and were distributed among commanderies that could house anywhere from 10 to 80 members. Like other military orders, recruits took monastic vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Their motivations varied. Some sought spiritual rewards promised to crusaders, others yearned for adventure and advancement, and some simply needed regular meals and shelter. While German settlers could join, they often served as priests or half-brethren, Hauptbrüder. Each castle convent also included local crossbowmen and non-combatants like servants and craftsmen. Although the order was officially international, most members were from German territories. Membership numbers fluctuated based on battles and territorial changes. For instance, in Prussia, there were 700 members in 1379 CE, 400 in 1450 CE, 160 in 1513 CE, and just 55 in 1525 CE. The total number of knights across the order probably never exceeded around 300. The order's income came from various sources: booty from warfare, captured territories, trade, land rents, and donations of cash, goods, or land. Some knights' brethren paid an entry fee, and taxes were imposed on local populations in the 15th century. As the need for more knights grew, the order hired mercenaries to achieve its goals. Commanderies provided training, residences, and retirement places for members, as well as aid to local communities through hospices, hospitals, schools, and cemeteries. The order also built and maintained churches, supporting artists to adorn them. And the Teutonic Knights were renowned not only for their formidable fighting skills and sturdy stone fortresses, but also for their distinctive uniforms. They wore black crosses on a white background or bordered with white. These crosses adorned their shields, white surcoats from 1244 CE, helmets, and pennants. Half-brethren, who held a lower status, wore gray instead of the pure white reserved for knights. The order imposed a rigorous set of rules on its members, more stringent than those of other military orders. While knights were allowed to have beards, long hair and flamboyant clothing or equipment were strictly discouraged. Knights could not possess money or personal property, and even their limited clothing could not be stored in a locked chest. Unlike other orders, before the 15th century, Teutonic Knights did not use personal seals or burial monuments, and personal coats of arms were forbidden. The knights were also restricted from excessive entertainment, including participating in medieval tournaments, socializing with knights outside the order, and most forms of hunting. The only hobby permitted to keep monotony at bay was woodcarving. And the Teutonic Order faced a series of challenges in the 13th and 14th centuries, starting with the fall of the Kingdom of Jerusalem in 1244 CE, and the catastrophic loss at the Battle of La Fourby near Gaza, where 437 out of 440 Teutonic Knights perished. Subsequently, the Mamluks of Egypt and Syria captured the Montfort fortress in 1271 CE, effectively ending Teutonic influence in the Middle East. The order, under new leadership, relocated to Venice before moving its headquarters to Marienburg in Prussia in 1309 CE. Prussia became the focal point of the Teutonic Knights' efforts, where they crusaded against pagan Lithuanians and Orthodox Russians. Despite facing military setbacks and accusations of unchristian behavior, including slaughtering Christians, desecrating churches, and hindering conversions, the order continued its expansion. Revolts in Prussia, notably in 1260 CE, and ongoing wars tested the order's resolve, but it persevered. The Teutonic Knights' success in gaining new territories, such as Danzig, eastern Pomerania, and northern Estonia, enhanced their prestige. However, the conversion of the Lithuanians to Christianity in 1389 CE marked a turning point. The order's focus shifted towards politics and material gain, leading to conflicts with neighboring powers. At the Battle of Tannenberg on July 15, 1410 CE, the Teutonic Knights suffered a devastating defeat, and by 1457 CE, their headquarters had to be relocated to Königsberg. Despite these setbacks, the order persisted, continuing its activities in Livonia and engaging in battles against Russians and Ottoman Turks. The secularization of the order in Prussia in 1525 CE and in Livonia in 1562 CE marked the end of its military role. However, it continued to exist as a minor military unit, fighting in the German and Austrian Habsburg armies into the 18th century. Today, the order functions as a non-military organization, providing healthcare, welfare projects, and support for artists. Its archives, now housed in Vienna, remain an invaluable source for understanding the medieval period and the operations of military orders. Throughout its long history, the Teutonic Order experienced both triumphs and setbacks. While it faced military defeats, particularly in the defense of the Holy Land and against Russian forces, it fulfilled its core missions of spreading Christianity and aiding the less fortunate. The order played a significant role in the conversion of pagans in the territories it conquered, often resettling these regions with German migrants as part of a systematic colonization effort. They also introduced new technologies, such as constructing a massive watermill in Danzig in the early 14th century. Renowned for their trading prowess and diplomatic finesse, the Teutonic Knights were respected across Europe. Their diplomatic acumen even gave rise to a proverb: "If you're so clever, go and deceive the lords of Prussia." However, their success in administration and trade often led to conflicts with other powers.